Hi everyone, I'm here today with our Hustings with our Postgraduate Officer, Dave. So Dave, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself before we start?
All right, my full names are David Chisanga. I'm a postgraduate student at MIC, and I'm pursuing a Master's of Arts in Media Studies. And I come from Zambia, from the capital, Lusaka, to be specific. And I'm actually running for Postgraduate Officer.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Dave. So we're just going to get started with the questions here that we got from some of the students at MIC. So the first one is, how will you help postgraduate students feel more included in Mary Immaculate College life?
All right, so the first thing and my biggest task, through the tenure, I would say it's not really an easy task, but, will be to incorporate every postgraduate student in, the union by ensuring that every class has a class representative, because first of all, the representatives, feed into my office as postgraduate officer, and then I feed as well into the union and indeed feed the academic staff, and at the end of the day, the whole college. So first of all, at the grassroots level, we start with ensuring every class has a postgraduate class representative. That is, yeah. I think for me, that's the first task before I even go any meeting or go anywhere, because I need to also get the information from the postgraduate students through their class reps.
That's fantastic. And that leads us into our next question, which is, how will you keep all postgraduate students updated on issues that are raised or brought up at committee meetings you attend?
All right, so in my tenure, I intend to introduce what I call the PS, Postgraduate Student Officer, mail, where I update them every week accordingly, or every month, depending on how the meetings, the council meetings will be. So immediately after the meeting, I package the information very well, and I send it out via email to the postgraduate students for them to actually be updated. It wouldn't be a bad idea to even introduce some Zoom here and there for them to also get the information from the council, because I intend to introduce a three-way communication. If you see in my manifesto, a three-way communication where we bridge the gap between my office, the postgraduate office, as well as the union, the MI union, as well as the academic staff. So I will be between now. Whatever the union says, I tell the academic staff. Whatever the academic staff say, I tell the postgraduate students as well. I think for me, it's being a conveyor belt and introduce mail. We can even go as far as some Zoom updates here and there.
That sounds fantastic, Dave. And finally, on to our last question is, what initiatives would you introduce in order to further build and strengthen relations between postgraduate students on the Limerick and Thurles campuses?
All right, so definitely we will try to have some events together, where we can actually meet here and there, maybe in a quarter once, or maybe some monthly event where we can actually just share some ideas. I think even the writing workshops that we have as postgraduate students, we can extend them physically at some point where we involve both campuses so that we can meet and network at those events. I think we can just create some postgraduate events around them and some meetings as well. Meetings over research, meetings even just for coffee and get to know one another.
That sounds lovely, Dave. That sounds great. So just before we finish up, is there anything else that you would like to add or to say to the students of MIC?
All right, so my appeal is to every student at MIC to vote for me as postgraduate officer, because I intend to be the voice of the postgraduate student and indeed be the conveyor belt for them, and to advocate for their issues in the union at MIC as well, for the betterment of everyone. At the end of the day, your voice as a postgraduate should be heard at MIC. And for me, when you vote for me, definitely it's for effective representation. I believe I said something like qualitative results. Is it quantitative outcomes as well? That's what you're actually expecting from me. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, David. It's been lovely talking with you.